Hey guys, today I'll be checking out 10 things that will shock you about Austria. I'm really curious what are the things that would shock me when I visit Austria. So let's get into this.
Grüß Gott! Hello there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and we're in Salzburg, Austria, one of the cutest towns you can check out in Europe. And today what we have for you are 10 things that might shock you about coming to Austria, okay? So let's get started. The first thing that shocks a lot of tourists when they come to Austria is the fact that Austria is
I
not
know that.
Germany, okay? People, it's a different country. The Austrians don't like the Germans. They don't want to be associated with
Really?
the Germans. They're not cool with the Germans, so don't compare them to that. They don't appreciate it. Yes, they do speak German here, but their German's a little bit
Really?
different. Schweinhaxe is here. Schweinhaxe, Hamhaxe, that's what it is in Germany. Here it's Schnitzel. Okay, there's a few differences in the language and the way they are, but look, this is not Germany. That's the first.
Who thinks Germany and Austria are the same? That is crazy. Well, I they're next to each other, but it's really different things. So yeah, maybe even a kid would like know that they're different. That's so crazy. But yeah, maybe there are really people that thinks it's the same because if they speak same language, like some people do speak same language. So maybe I don't know.
Not. The beer, not so good. The wine is, but
Winner.
the beer's not. Okay, so that's the first thing a lot of people are kind of shocked about. They expect Austria to be Germany Junior, and it's not. It's definitely its own
Germany
kind of culture and
Junior.
its own kind of people, all right? Now, the second thing that might shock you while you're here is the calories or cakes galore, okay? Yes, the cakes,
Oh,
the
my
pastries all
favorite.
over the shops and the cafes, and you will
Really?
see the candies and chocolates and oh my goodness, all kinds
Oh,
of places. When you do come here, you see them everywhere, and you're like, oh my God, how there's so many cafes? How many are so many cakes? Look,
yeah.
I'm drooling thinking about it, okay? And it does shock tourists, like, my God.
Is that why he gained so much weight? Because he's eating a lot because there's so much cake everywhere in Germany and in Austria? Well, probably. That's crazy. I don't want to get fat.
God, how do they
But
have
I
so
love
many
those
bakeries? How
stuff.
do they have so many cafes with nice little cakes and stuff? Well, it is kind of
Mm,
shocking, but yes, they are everywhere. And yes, you should have them because they are shockingly
what
good when
is
you do eat
that?
them. Whether it is the traditional Sauerkraut or apple strudel or Linzer Torte, or if you have your Mozart Kugeln when you're walking around, there's so many ways to gain
Oh,
calories when you're here, whether it's cake or pork or Wiener Schnitzel or whatever. You will get shocked about how
schnitzel.
big you can get on your love for Austrian food. Let's put it that way. The third thing that might shock you about coming here is how good the tourist infrastructure is in Austria with hotels, bed and breakfasts,
Oh, that's nice to
trains,
know.
public transport, all kinds of things out here in English and German. It is extremely well put together. The Austrians have had
That's
tourists forever. I
good.
mean, the Austrians, they've been all over. They had part of Hungary and they had Italy and they were all over the place. And they brought a lot of that back and they've made a really great tourist infrastructure for tourists when they do come here. And that is kind of shocking when you're not used to that. If you're coming from the east or the south of Europe, you're like, whoa, everything's so put together here. It's kind of
Wow, I
crazy.
didn't know
So
that.
yes, that can be a bit shocking. Is the really good tourist infrastructure here in
It's
Austria. The
nice
fourth thing that might
there.
shock you is, remember I told you about how Austria was in Italy and Croatia and Hungary and all these things. Well, the Habsburg Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, the Habsburg family really had influence all over, and Austria really
Amazing.
has had a lot of influence throughout the history of Europe
Really?
over the last,
Well, I guess
thousand
that
years with
one,
the Holy
yeah.
Roman Empire. And yes, they did, going down into Italy and Croatia and Hungary and all this. You will see the building styles showing up when you're going to Budapest or Bratislava. And the
Oh,
Habsburgs
yeah,
really
I've
did
reacted to
influence a
this
lot of
one.
Europe. And you may be surprised, a tiny country like Austria really did have a lot of power over the centuries, okay? But that might shock you as the Habsburg influence in culture.
I really thought that it was before, like, the most historic place or country was just like Italy and then Germany. Well, I guess Austria is next to Germany too. So yeah, very historic. But yeah, now I'm learning, so it's good I'm watching this. So yeah.
Culture and history throughout Europe. The fifth thing that might shock you about coming to Austria is how quaint all the old towns are. I mean, look, this is just the backside. This isn't even the front side. It's the backside of the cathedral here in Salzburg,
Oh, it
and all the
is?
old towns, the Altstadt of all these villages and towns in Austria are
Oh,
fantastic. Because yes, the
it's
Habsburgs put a lot of
picturesque.
money into making the towns beautiful. Innsbruck, Vienna, Hallstatt, all these things. And you have all these great towns and historic districts out there, and they've done a very great job of
That's a
keeping it
cool
historic. Okay, and
picture.
that kind of shocks you is that you can go to pretty much any village in Austria, and like, wow, this is really pretty. Whereas some places, you go to Germany, some places the war destroyed a lot of the towns. They weren't rebuilt very sexy like. They were built in 1950s and 60s style. Austria, you don't have that. So all these villages,
Wow.
all these towns have these historic, wonderful old towns. You don't even know what the town is. You're like, wow, that was beautiful. Wow, that was beautiful. Wow, that was beautiful. And that can be
Everything.
shocking for people that are going on the river cruises or just traveling around. The sixth thing that might shock
So yeah, when I was watching this World War II, like it's a war movie about World War II, and then they went on a mission, and then they went to Austria, and I was like, where is this? And so I look it up, and it's in Austria. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful in there. It's so mountainy and really cool, and they look amazing. And I was like, when I go to Germany, I have to go to Austria as well. I can't miss it. So yeah, I'm excited.
about coming to Austria is, I've talked about all these nice things. Well, there's some bad stuff about Austria too. And the sixth thing is the service.
How
They're not
nice
super
people.
friendly, they're not super helpful, and shockingly, you
You
still
have to
need to tip
tip.
them about 10% when you eat. So if you're going out to
Oh,
restaurants or hotels, make sure you have your exact questions, because if you ask exact questions, they will give you exact answers. Maybe not the most friendly or helpful, but they will give you a professional answer. The seventh thing
well,
that
at
might
least
shock
that's
people that
good.
come here is how much Austrians love Austria. I mean, some people say they're almost nationalistic about their obsession with Austria, how we were once the most powerful land in the world and all this kind of stuff. And just know that if you're coming here, they love
Many
Austria. It might
movies.
be shocking to you. They'll
Oh,
say, we have been neutral since 1955 and we're this. And you will hear a lot more about Austrian history and culture and stuff like that while you're here than you will other places, which is fine, because what's cool for tourists is that national pride they do have means they have some of the best folk art museums, some of the best traditional
oh.
museums here, city museums like here in Salzburg. If you go to Innsbruck,
What
the
is that?
Tyrol Folk Museum there is one of the best folk museums. They take, houses from all over Tyrol and they put them into this museum, and it's fantastic. So yes, it can be a bit off-putting when you see how much they love themselves, but also for a tourist it really works out because you get some really great museums, a really true history of the
That
country.
would be
The eighth thing that
cool.
might shock you when you come here is most people, when they think of Austria, they're like, okay, there's Vienna, which is, this palace after palace after
Yeah,
palace, and
yeah.
Salzburg with all this great stuff here. But actually, the nature of Austria is beautiful, whether you go to the Alps by Innsbruck or you're here by
Yeah, that's the always nice thing. Going to countryside. I think it's more beautiful in the countryside more than the cities. I mean, there's all this beautiful building and I love those, but I only like to stay in the city like for a few days, and then I like road tripping, walk, look and see the nature, like the countryside area. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Look at that. That one, just like that one. That's beautiful. This is the one I always see every time. It's
the lakes
beautiful.
here in by Salzburg, or you go into the Wienerwald, the Vienna forest outside of Vienna. There's so much
Wow.
great nature here that you really need to get out
So
of the
green.
cities. It's not just going to Vienna, Graz, Salzburg, Innsbruck. Okay, I'm gone. Make sure you stop off and do some hiking or skiing or something like that, because it is great here.
That'll be
The ninth thing
fun.
that might shock you about coming here is, again, remember, this isn't Germany, and lots of people come here and they think, well, I'm going to drink beer when I'm in Austria. Don't drink the beer in Austria. It's gross, okay?
Oh, the
Stiegel is
one's
okay
better.
and Goose is okay, but it's not going to Germany. It's not going to the Czech Republic. Here in Austria, what you should do is drink the wine. The white wine here is fantastic. Stick to that, you'll be just fine. And that is kind of shocking for people to think, but they speak German, they should be drinking beer all the time. Okay, so stick to the wine. The wine's really good. And the 10th thing that might shock you,
So Germany is like known for beer, and then Austria is known for wine. Wow, that's really different. But yeah, it's a different country. There's definitely some differences. Of course.
is when you come to Austria, it is so easy to get cultured when you're here because there's
No
so many
culture you can
museums,
see
there's
in
so many
normal
historic
Austria.
sites. I mean, there's like 5 Mozart sites here in Salzburg. I mean, granted, he was born here, but there's so many really cool culture things here that if you are a backpacker, you know, and you're like, I'm coming from
Ah,
Amsterdam and I'm smoking my dope and I'm doing these things, and I did my interlocking, spelunking, and rafting, and now I'm in Salzburg.
that's
I'm in Austria, and
cool.
now you really can get cultured with the museums, with the history,
That's
and all
huge.
these kind of things, the architecture. And it is really kind of
Architecture.
cool. And that kind of shocks people when they think, wow, I've actually felt like I've grown culturally when I come to Austria. Anyway, those are 10 things I think might shock you about coming to Austria. If you want to learn more, 5 things you're going to love or hate about Austria,
What
check us out
is
on our
that?
website at waltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and we really appreciate your likes and subscriptions. And if you like videos like this, go down there and click that subscribe button so you can get.
Wow. That was a really cool video, and he definitely explained it like better than expected. When I watch his video, he's always in a hurry. So I was like, oh gosh, he's talking really fast and he explained it really funny. I like him, he's great. But that was really informative, and I now know what to expect when I visit Austria. I can't wait. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.